Hello and welcome to Sovereign RPG. I'm Sovereign. We're back in Myth of Empires today, and I'm going to teach you how to tame a rhino. It's going to be a question that's been coming up, and this works for an elephant as well. It's been a question that's been coming up quite frequently over the past couple of days to a week since they released the war rhino armor and the war elephant armor. So we're just going to show you how to do this real quick. Now, you don't need this actual cage. This cage is a very expensive thing that you don't actually need to use to make it, and you need to make the animal cage door. Now, I'll just show you where you actually get that from. You want to go crafting and recipes, into taming. I believe it's in taming, or is it in the building? In the build. Carton cage. So the giant animal cage is at level 50, and it requires slabs, defensive wall masonry, and twine. It's not massively expensive, but it does set you back quite a bit. Now, as you can see, there is a sliver of obedience on this guy. We've been doing this for about 5 minutes now. We basically dragged him from the river down near our base where our rhino spawn is, and we dragged him all the way up here. We placed this down. Now, when you actually hear his torpidity is going down quite quickly. So we can open the gate like this, and this is what it would actually look like. Now, I would have recorded it before, but I didn't realize we were going to be doing the taming of this rhinoceros so quickly. It just came out of nowhere. So we ran up this and we got through the gates. We got him upstairs. Now, you get him to chase you on foot. You just run up in there. He'll run up the ramp. And when he's inside, you just knock him out and he's unconscious. Now, the reason why you want to use a cage is because the obedience goes up a lot faster when they're inside of a cage. Now, what food do you want to use? You're going to be wanting to use the specially made dry fodder, which gives you 201.75 obedience each time they eat. And it's the quickest way to do it. There are a lot of other ones that do it. It doesn't feel like it does it much quicker, and it does take quite a lot. If you want to see how much it actually costs over here in the recipes, we're going to go over to Tame and Recruit. And it's going to be along this line up here. There's the lower level ones, that's 99. This one is 200, and you want to use this one for the larger animal. You get that at level 47, and it requires high quality barley, bark, and grass. So what's going to happen when you basically, if you let this guy wake up, he's going to start smashing this cage, and it hasn't got that much actual HP, so you want to be sticking around. He can hit that for a little while if you have to go do something else, but now he's just woken up, so we're just gonna go bonk, and he's unconscious again. And when he's unconscious, just remember, he will drop all of the food that you put inside him. It won't just disappear when he wakes up, so you just go back into inventory and you stick the nom noms back inside. You're going to be needing to make a lot of these. From the way this is going, he's eaten around about 50 so far. And we're going to continue making more and more as it comes in. And it takes like literally 1 minute, 10 seconds for each of these. And it's quite a decent amount of stuff you need. We're going to be running around getting some grass right now. One of my guys is running around grabbing some grass for me because he's a lovely young gentleman. So every time he wakes up, you just bonk him on the head, knock him down, replace the food back inside, and you will start taming your rhinoceros. It works exactly the same with an elephant, although the elephant requires a higher level to make the actual saddle you can use for it, the armor, which because you can ride these without actually having a saddle on there or the armor on there. But once we get closer to the actual taming, I'm just gonna close this down because it's gonna take a couple of hours likely, and then I'll start the recording again and I'll show you what happens when we get the rhinoceros up. So we'll be back in a moment. Right, and we are back almost 20 hours later, 21 hours later. Don't make the same bloody mistake I did and not have enough food and have to craft the food as you're actually going. I've been awake the entire bloody time crafting this food that takes 1 minute 10 seconds per, and knocking this guy out and adding the food to it as it goes. Make sure you have the right amount of food, and depending on the rhino's level, it's going to be from 1,000 food to 2,000 food. Now let's quickly go over again what food. This has been an absolute bloody nightmare. The things I do for love. It's going to taming, going to the horse food. Now again, this is the premium horse trainer. We were using the specially made dry fodder. Now this took around about 1,500 of the feeds to get this guy tamed. He's not tamed yet. He's a couple of feeds away, but we're going to do it on camera at least to get it going. You can use this food. It will take twice the amount, and it only uses common. Now it takes the same amount of time to craft this food to get the same amount of increased obedience. So it's 100 for the increased obedience for the fine dry fodder, and it's 200 for the premium specially made dry fodder. This one takes 30 seconds to craft. This one takes 1 minute and 10 seconds to craft. So 3 of these will actually give you more, and it sort of works out that these will be better. Now it's easier for you to actually get the common barley than it is to make the high quality barley. So maybe using the fine dry fodder might be your best bet. I haven't done the full calculations, but I probably will never tame a rhino again after this absolute nightmare. So let's just go and knock this out, hopefully for the last time. We're just gonna go bonk, conscious, 700 damage with the bloody thing. Let's see if this 3 food's gonna do it. Probably not. There's 1. I mean, it moves at such a bloody smidgen when they eat. Like, it didn't even hardly do anything. Is he eating it all? He's got 1 left. We're gonna have to wait for more to actually craft to get this. This is like, I don't know, if this ends up being really bad mount and not worth the amount of time you have to put in it. Even if you have all the food ready, this is gonna take you 6-7 hours to do, because you have to knock them out over and over again and fill them with 25 of those food each time. So the way that it actually worked, so I worked it out that when you knock the actual rhino out, you can fit 25 of that obedience food in before they wake up. So if you just split it into 25 stacks, you knock it out, put the 25 in, go AFK for like 5 minutes. When it does however long the torpidity goes on, it's like 2 to 3 minutes, and then you knock it out again, put another 25 in, and then wait, and then knock it out again, put another 25 in, so on and so forth. It's gonna make me wait even longer. I've only got enough resources for 34 more. Just absolute nightmare. And I bet it's not even gonna be that good, but we will check out the stats once it's actually tamed up, and I'll show you exactly what comes out when you do tame the rhino. And we'll probably take it on a little bit of an NPC tour. We've got the armor going on. I'm actually gonna DM Grim to see if he can get that going right now. And don't do what I accidentally did at one point, and I kicked it while it was down, and I thought it was going to die, and it was after so many hours of doing it, and like my heart stopped midway through the kick. So just keep your hands away and face away from the rhino at all times when you're doing this, because 1 extra hit could actually just kill it, and all your time is wasted, and all those resources are wasted, and it takes a lot of farming to get the high quality stuff. So it's been an absolute nightmare. I think I deserve a like on the video just for the amount of time this bloody took. Let's see if this is going to be the last time we have to knock it out. Bonk. Missed. Oh, that was lag. What? It didn't deal with the full enough damage. Bonk. There we go. Let's see if the 4 are going to do it. Come on, baby. I mean, it moves at the smallest sliver. You can barely notice it. You have to get right up close to see it happen. It's not going to be in. We're going to have to wait. Christ. This is like taming a Giga and Ark back in the day before they did the fodder change and only feeding it with prime meat. It already had that bloody food. So we're going to have to wait 5 more minutes. It should do it after like 5 more eats. So see how that goes. Let me stick 1 in just in case. It might just tip it over the edge. Come on, eat it. It ate it and it didn't even move the bloody core. Let's see if this is going to be the final one. The final push. 7. Is it going to tame? Come on, better bloody tame. I burnt 25k copper doing this because I was too lazy to go and get the resources to get the saddle and that done. There's a lot of PvP going on our server at the moment, and it is very difficult to get out to get the black iron ore and all that stuff at the moment. It's a bit of a nightmare. So is it not? It's not going to do it, is it? It's really not going to do it. Kidding me. Oh my god. It's like nothing left on the bar. Oh, we have to wait for more. I really need to get some sleep after this. Is this going to be it? Is this going to be the last one? Probably not. There's nothing left on that bar. It didn't even move. Such a nightmare. Literally, that bar is full. What are you doing to me, game? So I actually screwed up the recording, and I pressed 1 on my number pad again, as I did in the previous video where it stopped the bloody recording. So I missed on the bit where I was talking about all the different things with the rhino, etc. So we're just going to go through that again real quick right now. Now, there's no traits on rhinos. There's no special weaknesses or anything like that you can get on them. It just seems to be just a machine that runs around and does damage. It cannot walk backwards. It always has a sprint unless you press W once, and it does a little trot, and it doesn't use stamina. It uses an absolute massive amount of food at all time. I mean, look at all the food that it's actually going through on the fullness right now. It's got a massive carry weight. The HP isn't that great. The armor is like twice what like the Iron Horse armor is, so it may take a few more hits to kill it, but I don't think it's going to take that much, especially if you got a player with going against a player with high spear. It's only got 200 life force, and I've been told that if it dies, it loses 100 life force each time it dies, so it's only going to live for 2 times, which is going to be an absolute bloody nightmare. So is it worth actually going through and taming this, as many, like taking all the hours it takes to tame it? Oh, look, Jade Rail's there, so we're just going to actually run into him and see how much this damages him for real quick. Let's get him a little roundup. Oh, God's sake, you can't walk backwards on a bloody rhino, and it's so hard to turn it. It's like turning a double-decker bus. Okay, let's go. Why doesn't it hit? The hell? Maybe you can't use mounts in the competitive. Yeah, so you can't actually hit anyone in competitive mode, so that's a bit of a nightmare. We'll have to do it in a different video where we're checking out how much it actually hits for. I need to actually go get this guy some food. Oh, and I forgot, because I like messed up the recording, I forgot to say that his name is is now never again, because I'm never going to tame another rhino. It's basically pointless. It can be used in like in sieges, because it can damage a lot of the buildings. Same with the elephant, but I just don't think it's worth the time right now. The stats aren't really that great. It can be used to do NPC clears. It can two-shot some of the NPCs, so I've been told. We'll have to do that in a separate video on how useful the actual rhino is for a general gameplay. We're actually going to go in and buy some of this food to give to the gentleman. Buy all that, thank you. 35 high quality coarse fodder, because I'm going to be waiting an age for this thing to heal up, and I don't want to run it straight into an NPC camp and just let it get murdered instantly. So its health is already dropping to really low amounts. Oh, he's almost dead. Feed it. No, don't die. See that? See how quickly his food was going down? Like, that was nuts. It literally almost died just because I didn't have any food on it, and it's going through food like no one's business. Look how much it's just chewing through that food, and it almost died. Like, for me, this is going to be very high maintenance, and it's going to be an absolute bloody nightmare to maintain. So that's all we have on the rhino. No, I don't think it's bloody worth it, especially the amount of time it takes, or the amount of food it's going to be eating and all that sort of stuff. Like, I just don't think it's actually worth it for anyone to do it. If you want to do it, it's going to be a trophy mount. That's basically all it's going to be, and it's already probably going to need some more food. It's at 7, so its HP is going up, but it's not going up very well. Food goes down really quickly. That's an absolute nightmare. Well, I hope this was able to help some of you get your trophy rhino mount where it actually doesn't even matter. I will do a separate video on how useful it will be in PvE, how useful it will be in PvP, what sort of stuff it can damage, other stuff like that, and what we can have going on around what we can use it for. But for now, this is just for the actual taming of the mount. Remember, we do have a Patreon if you'd like to support the channel and myself. Remember to like and sub for all my Myth of Empires content. Fly safe and avoid local chat scams.